Okay, so I finally had a good night's rest yesterday. It's been the first time since I landed here in Vietnam. I've just been running on like 2 to 4 hours. Unfortunately, this is like very common practice for me during the holidays or when I go on vacation. I assume that I'm not going to sleep. So yesterday I got like 6 hours, which is like very good for me. But yeah, I am. Let me get this little bag. There we go. So right now I am on my second last day on my trip here in Da Nang, not even Vietnam. I still have another leg back in Hanoi. So I have not been filming as much yesterday because the weather was kind of crap, and also just like it does take you out of the moment when you're trying to be present in a place and then you have to think, oh, I should film this, or the lighting here is kind of crap, or it's so noisy, I forgot to bring my... That's frustrating and annoying. So yesterday I didn't bother with filming like too much, and also there wasn't like that much to film anyway, since I don't know, I had like a very underwhelming experience at Hoi An, and that's mostly on me because of, number one, the time of year that I came here, which is the worst time to come during Tet. So most things are closed, and that includes like tours that are usually running aren't running. Really would have preferred doing a full day tour at the very least, or like an overnight, and really explore like the area a little bit more in depth, take like a cooking class or whatever, because I really wanted to try the cuisine, and I didn't get a chance to do that because everything was closed, or there were so many fucking tourists. And I mean, I know I'm a tourist too, but there were too many of us, so I didn't really get to enjoy my time there. But you know what, that's okay, because I told myself I will be back here. I'm coming back, and every time that I've said I will come back, I've come back. So I'm not too stressed. I know I'll be back here in Da Nang or in Hanoi one more time. Hoi An, not Hanoi, sorry. So yeah, the weather was kind of crap and didn't see that much. So for today, I have a different, not adventure, like an experience plan for myself. So aside from just like trying to enjoy my vacation here in Vietnam, which I have, Vietnam is great, I love it here. Obviously there are downsides, but the upsides definitely, they outweigh the downsides for me so far. But yeah, so not, I would say like a running theme in my life at this, or in this chapter of my life, or the new chapter that I'm about to embark on, is trying to find out what it is that I want to do with my life professionally. Because that's something that I've deeply I was in survival mode for like well over, I'd say 15 years. Has it been 15? Maybe less, 13. Yeah, 13 seems more accurate. So when you've been in like a space of just like wanting to get onto the other end of the next day for that long, it kind of limits you in terms of like what you think is possible for your life and what you want to strive towards. So in a sense, I've kind of put myself in this bind where, because I was just focusing on surviving and getting on the other end of the things that I had to do, which is like finish school, go to university, get a job, find an apartment, whatever. So just like had like these consecutive goals that I was focusing the majority of my time on, meant that other things that would add more value to my life kind of had to take a back seat. And yeah, so that meant that my goals, I've achieved all of them because they were so small. They were very tiny. And I don't know, but the thing is, they're also not, because there's so many people. I'm living, it's such a weird space to be like privileged and underprivileged at the same time. I'm privileged in the sense that I'm living many people's dream life. it's not perfect, and there's lots of sacrifices that I'm not going to share on this channel just yet that I've had to make to be here. But in spite of that, I'm still doing pretty okay. I have a roof over my head. I have a stable income. I live in a safe country. I eat food that I can make for myself. I have a bed. I have electricity. I have running water. The list is endless of things that I have. So I never navigate life out of a sense of lack, because my life is very abundant in its simplicity. But, and I don't know if this is a Capricorn in me, there's something in me that's like, you can do so much more. And that's kind of like, it's frustrating and also comforting at the same time. And I keep bumping into people who are like, why are you here? You should be up there. You know, like the mountain goat. You should be at the top of the hill, not here at the bottom. So yeah, it's just been like trying to marry like the very ambitious part of myself with the side that's also just content. But then the trouble that I've noticed recently with like contentment is that it's a very slippery slope towards complacency. And that's a space that I do not want to be in at all, because that's where bad things happen. Content is okay. But the thing is with being content, not contention, that's another word. But being content is that it only stays that way for a very short amount of time. The things that I were content with 2 years ago are not the things that I'm content with right now. And unfortunately, the goalpost keeps on shifting. And I keep on shifting that goalpost, like, because of the nature of my personality. And like everything externally aside, in terms of like how the state of the world right now, I'm very aware of the state of the world right now. Like, trust me, I am. But I still want more. And I think I'm allowed to have more because I have what it takes. I firmly believe that. And my problem has been downplaying myself. And I don't know where that came from. Like every time there was an opportunity for me to like take up center stage in my life or whatever, I was like, not for me. And also because I don't really like being the center of attention. That's also something else. Not that I have to work on, because it's okay not wanting to be the center of attention. We're all different people. But yeah, just like trying to figure things out for me professionally and career-wise, because that's an aspect of my life that I feel like I've underexplored and I have the capacity to excel at whatever it is that I put my mind to. But the problem that I have is I don't know what to put my mind to. I mean, I have an idea, I have some inklings. Problem with that is the state of the world is not, because I need something that pays me well, unfortunately. But I don't need something that's like excessive. I don't need excess. I just need I want to be comfortable. I am comfortable back in South Africa. Like the amount that I'm earning would be considered as comfortable, but comfortable by the country standards, not by my personal standards. So those are two different things. So I need to figure out how to get that done. And not the adventure, the task that I've set out for myself today is I want to go on like a day where the ideal version of myself, or at least the version of myself that I see in the future in like the next 2 years, how her day would look like. Of course, I'm on vacation. I don't have like everything at my disposal. Like I don't have a group of friends that I can hang out with, or like maybe a romantic partner that I would like to have in my life at this point, or at that point in the future. Don't have that. Nothing I can do about that, but that's okay. And yeah, I just want to embark on like a day that my ideal self would be going on, how she would spend her day, how she would manage her time, what are the things that she would be working on, how would she be improving herself, So that's like something that I want to explore today, because I've kind of like done most of the touristy I've done most of the touristy things here that I'm interested in. So now I want to see what living here would potentially be like, because I think I'm kind of like, I'm very happy that I came here. I'm very ecstatic because I'm around people who are doing the things that I want to be doing, which is like, there's a fuck ton of digital nomads in this area. And I'm fully aware of how that lifestyle gets glamorized and that it's not for everyone, but I do think it's for me. I think it suits my needs and it suits my personality. I need lots and lots of stimulation, so I like the hopping around to different places. I do. So that's something that I can tolerate. Of course, stability is also important, especially now that I'm like edging towards 30. But I'm still young and I want to see the world and earn a living while doing that. And like, make no mistake, I'm not deluded by all of the red tape and bureaucracy and shitty Wi-Fi, and I'm aware of all of that, but I think it's still something that I want to do. And I think that's good because that's clarity, and clarity means that that's something that I can edge towards. So that dust for me has settled in terms of like where I would want to end up. And I know it's difficult, especially for those of us who don't live in countries where we're exposed to all of those opportunities that could like lead to having a life that you could like work remotely from. And my challenge is that I'm doing it with like damn near zero experience in a field outside of teaching English. So I don't know, it's like trying to figure out what do I want to build. I think that's my challenge for the next chapter of my life. What do I want to build? Where are the baskets that I want to put my eggs in? Right now, teaching English, not the one for me. It's been okay. It's been paying the bills. It helped me reach points in my life that I'm very, very thankful for. But it's not sustainable, and it's not how I want to be spending the rest of my life, especially not in China. I kind of want to see other places too, and experience living in them. So yeah, I also don't want to like look a horse gift in the mouth and be like ungrateful for the job that I currently have, especially with how difficult the work everywhere, like the job market is shit. So I'm very cognizant of that. And it does feel kind of stupid for me to want to shift to something that's unstable. But you know what? Sometimes the best things come from like persisting ahead through the stupidity. I think that's my overall, it's a part of my life philosophy up until here. So yeah, for today, I'm hungry. Well, I need to eat first, and then I will be spending my day editing this video. Because that's something I see future me still doing. Like, I think future me has a very successful YouTube channel and she has brand deals and she gets paid to go on trips. So I'm speaking that into existence. That's what I'm doing. So that's something that I feel like future me is going to do. And aside from that, future me might also have like a little shop on the side where she like sells her designs. Designs that I've yet to make. So I think today I look forward to just like manifesting, essentially. That's what this is. This is just like an exercise in manifestation without all the hoo-ha and all the airy-fairy bullshit, because the Capricorn in me doesn't, I can't believe I just said that. I'm not an astrology girly at all, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I am a Capricorn. So yeah, the Capricorn, the very like anal, retentive, organized, take no bullshit part of me is like, but you know what, fuck it. Like, I think both parts of me, like the airy-fairy and like the very rigid organizational part, I think there's a way for me to marry those sides and make a shit ton of money, so that I can do things that I really like. I don't want just money for money's sake either. I want money to fund my hobbies, let me explore the world, and eventually like find somewhere to like settle down and then embark on like a different chapter in my life. I don't know what that chapter might look like. Maybe I'll have a family. Maybe I'll join a monastery and become a nun. Or maybe I will find a dungeon and go train to be a dominant. I don't fucking know what my life is going to look like in that chapter. But right now I have this current chapter that I need to be working on, which is my professional as side of my life. So yeah, I also feel like very fortunate that I don't have to worry about like finding myself, because I have found myself. And I'm glad that I don't have those rose-tinted glasses on whenever I go on trips, because I am wherever I go. So that has made me enjoy Vietnam a lot more, and to just appreciate it for what it is and not for what it could potentially be in my head. So I'm very fortunate that I have a strong sense of identity, and I'm very I have a strong sense of self. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, strong sense of self aside, I need to figure out how to make more money so that I can go splash around in the sea and like paint and like doodle. I don't know. So yeah, it sounds very stupid. It sounds very selfish. It sounds very, I don't know, like very privileged of me to be able to say, no, I don't want a life that's securing me a 9-to-5 in like these very trying times. I want to have a life that I choose the challenges that I get to face every single day, because I've been facing challenges that the world has been thrusting upon me up until this point, and still is, and probably still will. Like struggling is an inevitable part of life. There will never not be times to struggle, but I think, I kind of forgot where I was going with this train of thought. The ADHD is kicking in. Anyway, so yeah, I look forward to just exploring my potential avenues, trying to not approach it like from like a lack mindset, because that's not going to be conducive, but also still have, basically I think the theme of my life has always, or I'm trying to move towards a place where my head is in the clouds but my feet are planted firmly on the ground. So I don't want to get lost in the sauce and act like anything is possible. Anything is technically possible, but there are things that are counting against me, and I need to, like, awareness of that doesn't mean like I accept it, you know, but awareness also means that I understand how it's influencing me in ways that I might not be aware of. So yeah, figuring out what to do with myself professionally, not with my life, and where that could lead me. I am very excited to have this little day here in Da Nang, because I think this would be a good location. And also what I want to do is I want to create a memory while I'm here, so that in the future when I go back, and I have to go back to China. Anyway, so when I go back to China, I have something in my memory bank that I can like just pull out my back pocket and be like, so remember, this is what we're working towards. This is where you want to be. And that has always, like, every time I've said that's where I want to be, that's where I've ended up. So I'm excited. I'm going to be here. I'm going to come back. Like, not knock on wood. I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to have built something that's going to sustain me. I'm speaking this into existence. It has already happened, because my track record has shown whatever it is that I said I want to do, I have done. And I think that's very cool for me to say at, like, I'm not even 30 years old yet. There's so many people who are like in their 60s and 70s, and I'm like, oh God, I speak to my... Anyway, I don't want to divulge there because I'm gonna get sad and I'm gonna cry, but I feel very, very blessed, where even though and it also depends on whose perspective. But yeah, like, I don't have that much to my name, objectively speaking, but I have something, and that something has been enough for me. But now it's time to challenge myself, and I think challenge is good. It's good for our brains, good for our bodies, it's good for our souls. So I need different challenges that can push me over the edge not over the edge, that can bring me closer to the edge, and then, or to the next ledge at the very least, and then just keep on climbing. And I'm okay with potentially never reaching the top because the climbing is the fun part. And I'm very fortunate that I have that type of mindset because there are so many people who don't. But I think I've been on the ledge that I've been seated at for too long, and that's causing like stagnation and degradation in my mind. So I need things that are just going to like electrify me, because I like being busy. I like having lots of things to do that fulfills me, and it's like it's a good match for my personality. And I also think that the issue that I'm currently having in China, aside from all the other reasons that I mentioned like in my other video, if you want to watch over here, is that my life is too comfortable. And that sounds very privileged to say, but the thing is with comfort is that it breeds complacency. And complacency is dangerous. Complacency means that you are not oriented towards change and improving and helping others also. Like aside from just like your own life, you don't feel like you want to help out others too, and that's not something that I'm personally okay with. I want to live a life where I have the capacity to help others too. Right now I don't, and I think that's also what's making me feel frustrated every now and then. So yeah, I have yapped for 20 fucking minutes. Anyway, so I'm gonna go grab some breakfast and then work on my video and then have my little magical day here in Da Nang by the beach. I'm so happy to be here and I can't wait to come back. Anyway, I will be seeing you guys on the other side. Bye.